Oh, wow. There's 4 of us. It's not the same 4 as last week. Because I made it back to Thailand, thankfully. I got stuck in 3 different airports. 1 in the UK, 1 in America, and it was very spooky there, and 1 in Spain. But I finally made it back.
Wonderful.
I'm sorry for your time wasted, but welcome back.
I'm thinking. Thank you. Anyway, sawadee-ka, and welcome to The Cup, the Currently Unnamed Podcast, where we put the real and the tea in reality, and oh boy, we are today. And you can always come to us first to quench your thirst. I'm Logan Murphy. Say something gay. Gay. I just ran out of Coke Zero, and I'm really actually sad about it because I didn't put another one in the fridge, so I'm just drinking water. That's all.
Well, hello everyone. I am Lana, your resident evil diva, and I'm here to give the tea, spill the tea, and drink the tea because you know I loves me some tea. I am drinking some juice that I made from home because I have to do everything from home because I'm broke, and so there is no buying food for me. It's everything that's in your house. You eat it and drink it, and I got some juice. But you know what I don't have? What I didn't make in my house? I didn't make it, but I got it. It's my cup mug. I mean, I guess so. When we got most of the panel, I guess I could do it. Panel half full of cup mugs. Panel mostly full of cup mugs.
3/4.
3/4. Thailand edition. Beer. You can get your cup mug or any of our beautiful cup merch at lanagcreations.etsy.com. That link will be in the description below. And we do ship internationally and domestically, so there are no excuses in Thailand. Oh, I'm looking at you. I'm looking right at you. Get your cup merch. Period.
Well, I'm David Healy, and I don't have a cute intro, but I do have a cute shirt. I haven't worn this one for a little bit, so I decided to wear my Lux Noir London shirt, wearing one of my favorite design challenges looks ever. So good.
Love the purple.
Yes, this is a good look for sure. I'm currently not drinking anything because I forgot to get water. I probably will get it at some point during this podcast.
I also will be refilling my water at some point in this podcast because I definitely forgot to get more.
Mm-hmm.
Fair. And hola, I am Eduardo, the Mexican representative of this podcast. I am here to talk a lot of shit and get ahead. I just finished my green tea, sweetened, by the way, like a good person.
Like a good person
like
does.
A human.
Normal human being.
Normal human being.
Not a psychopath.
Unsweetened tea. I don't know what I mean.
Wild. Anyways, I also have some water over there, so I might also refill my water at some point in this podcast.
So if you see all of us go off camera, it's at different. Well, David's gone.
There you go. Goodbye.
At different points in time, everybody's gonna go off camera to go either go to the bathroom or get water.
Reach out because my water is right here. So
Look, everybody has to wait your turn, so nobody can go off camera till David comes back.
That was so perfect.
That was perfection.
Oh my god.
Love it.
Well, we are back. It is episode 5 of Drag Race Thailand as we start our week of just Snatch Games and makeovers on Drag Race.
Baby.
Also, can we talk about how, for those of us doing Dragula, and by that I mean me and David, it did not even register in my brain until last night that there are 5 active drag shows happening.
Yeah.
And in 2 weeks, we will have 6 at once for the first time ever.
Oh, it's registered for me because most weeks I'm doing 10 podcasts between the 5.
And guess what? Most weeks I'm doing more than 10 podcasts a week.
I'm about to say mostly for drag, I'm doing everyone but Dragula and Espana.
Well, that's
Logan.
I'm here
flexing all of the 30-minute Cup TV podcasts that they do.
Right, I'm about to say because then I have all of my Cup TV.
Hey,
stuff.
I did a 20-minute one today because I was by myself.
Okay.
Yeah, I am happy to say that I don't have to do it Logan did it by themselves, and I appreciate it because I fell asleep still.
But I didn't want any of us to be alone to talk about I'm going to say this, and I love you, Drag Race Thailand, and I love you, and I appreciate you, and Pangina, I love you. Don't listen to this episode of the podcast. I love you, Pangina. This was a shit show of an episode.
But not because of
Or
Not because
Not
because of
Oh,
Pangina.
God, Pangina is the only the winner of this episode is Pangina Heels.
She said it herself at the end of Snatch Game. The winner is me, literally.
The
That's
winner
the only
is
good thing.
Pangina. And we will spend probably way more time than we should talking about Pangina in this episode. Because
Yeah.
I would like to.
Mm-hmm.
And then the rest of the shit show of this episode. But before we dive in, make sure to subscribe if you've not already, because we're here almost all the time giving you almost all things drag. And make sure to check out the description below, where you can find all of our audio podcast links, our other YouTube channels, and our Patreon for exclusive content and early access, including early access to most of the Look Over Here's for the franchises that we are currently covering. So, we come back into the workroom, and Shotgun's gone. And I'm not surprised, but it does upset
No.
me.
I love Shotgun, but I was just like, yeah, come back for All Stars. I think a few years,
In
get polished.
12 years.
As I said, I hope this is not an April Carry-On situation in
Mm.
which she says, All Stars is happening for me, and then it never does.
Literally
So-
has never happened for her.
I think
How-
Shotgun could happen. I think Shotgun.
Honestly, I do think that it's more likely that Shotgun will be on All Stars than
I
April
think Shotgun
Carry-On
will
at
be
this
an All
point.
Stars before April Carry On. Yep, I agree. I agree. Oh, Jesus. What was
Oh,
that?
Dr. Snord.
Wow.
Wow, we love that for you.
I love that.
That doesn't happen very often. That is a rare occurrence. But yes, they come back in. Benze is really very upset having had to send home Shotgun, but they probably both should have gone home last week with that lip sync.
It was not a great lip sync.
I
No.
love Mother so severely, and we'll talk about it. Benze has
Apparently, the
become my favorite.
spoilers were wrong. My
The
roommate told
spoilers
me.
were indeed wrong. Yep.
Yep. Apparently, Benze was supposed to go last week.
Yeah.
Ooh.
All the tea right now for Drag Race is wrong, and I love it. Like all the franchises, it's all wrong, and I love it.
I always love that. I always love when everyone's expecting one thing and then it's completely the different thing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But let me make it clear. I love Mother Benzediva.
Mm-hmm.
She is my favorite person on this season. And I am very sad.
She's up there.
I'm very sad now. But she is like her, and we'll talk about my favorite moment of the season so far later. But yeah, she's upset because her and Shotgun had gotten very close in a very short gun period of time. Thank you.
I was saying,
Thank
roll
you,
your eyes,
Eduardo, for laughing.
David. Roll your eyes, David, because it was the
Yeah, police.
right.
We have a lot of
Whatever.
eye rolls today.
You gotta roll your
so-
eyes every time he makes.
Oh, we're
a
gonna. There's
joke.
gonna be more eye rolls happening.
Because he does it
but
to
yeah,
David
it's
every day.
Hey, we do it to each other.
We
It's
do
how
it.
I express my love for David Healy.
Sure.
Oh, you must really love me.
I do. I really do. I really do.
Oh my God.
Sometimes.
Love it.
Sometimes. Anyway, it's another. What is it with this season? And I don't know if it's just me or if it's all of us. What is it with this season? Coming back into the workroom and everyone's just depressed every episode. Like, oh no, she went home. Oh no, it's a competition.
I don't know. Honestly, I was too focused looking at Spicy. Spicy, please give me a chance. Spicy,
Oh,
I am
God.
single.
Yeah.
Spicy,
No.
please.
Oh, after seeing Spicy in that male drag runway, I was like, "Whoo, hello."
Honestly, I think they're just sad because it's not the person they want to go home that's leaving.
Right.
No, because
Yeah.
he wants Siam to go home.
Yeah. Yep.
Yes.
Somebody said that at the beginning too. They're like, yeah, Siam should have been lip syncing.
Right.
Or at least in the
Okay.
bottom three, someone said. I want to say it might have been Frankie.
Was it?
I
Not
don't
Frankie, because
remember.
Frankie was the
No.
only one who stood up for her later on. So I'm
And
just
not even really, let's be
Was it
honest, but we'll
CP?
talk about it. It might have been
Z.
ZP.
Might have been. I don't
It might
know.
have been
All I know is
ZP.
somebody. They coming for Siam's neck, and like they're coming hard.
Every
Yeah,
this
and it
whole
starts
episode-
here.
episode.
It
This
starts
whole
here.
episode-
It's been
it's
but it's been every episode though. That's the problem.
Yeah, but it really like breaks, like, or it really like explodes at the beginning of this episode, and then like the absolute fallout is at the end of this episode, because at the beginning of this episode, Siam does tell everyone like, "Hey, I am feeling like an outsider. I am feeling very uncomfortable right now," and everyone's just like, "Too bad." Anyways, moving on. Like no one's giving her the time of day, and I'm just like, "Hello, hello, like
Hello?
what? Hello."
Now, do I think she should have been in the bottom last week? Yes.
Oh, really?
With all that being, oh yeah, yeah, I would have. Who was low? I don't remember.
Was it Godland?
It might have been whoever was low. I would have put Siam in the bottom 3 again. Unfortunately.
Oh, it was Nani Sphera.
Oh, I absolutely would have put.
Yeah,
I absolutely
would have had
put Siam in the bottom 3 over
Gigi or Spicy in the bottom 3.
That challenge was bad, and guess what? The bad continues into this week, unfortunately.
Lord.
But we come into the workroom the next day. This entrance was weird.
Yeah.
Where they're like, they don't say anything, and then immediately they're coming for Siam's neck again. Great. Cool.
I am
Not immediately. Not immediately. They talk about they do this thing.
Throwing her name out, like.
Well, I've noticed they do this thing where the first thing they do when they gather around the table is, "Ooh, what do we want the challenge to be this week? What do we think it will be?" And apparently, Nani Sphera wants it to be a dressmaking challenge because that's what she's good at. Yeah, and she talks about how she's a local queen and she's not that polished, but that's not what I'm seeing, girl.
Right.
Seeing a lot of polish.
I don't know, girl.
I was just very shocked about it. I'm like, okay. But then they quickly went into,
this is where
you're horrible.
Siam, I hate you.
I'm not polished like a queen from abroad.
Right. And I was just like, why though?
What are we doing?
It just felt so weird and like, I don't know. Usually I'm like, try to find the play devil's advocate and find the, like maybe they meant or how they could have possibly meant. It was just weird on everybody's part. Like all of them jumped on her so fast, and for what reason? And like even you could, right? Even she was like, "I'm very confused on what is happening right now." She was like, "I thought we all liked everybody. I thought we loved each other." Like I was very in the place of everybody.
I thought we were sisters.
We were sisters.
Well,
literally, it's a very I thought we were sisters moment. No.
And there's a lot of conversations. This specific one is about they're all coming for her because they're like, how come when we ask you what you think about our looks, you don't want to answer? You don't give a straightforward answer. And she's like, well, I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings if I don't like their looks.
Right.
And like, why do you need to know? Why do you need to know
why
what
does
she
it
thinks?
matter? And that brings me to my number one frustration. And like we were talking before we started recording, and our main consensus is, what are we not seeing? And most importantly, what are we not seeing in what would have been Untucked? Because I feel like there's a lot of stuff going on in between critiques and the lip sync backstage, because we get shots of them every episode. But I'm like, clearly there's got to be something either off camera or in Untucked or something. There's got to be.
Camera. I bet they would show it if it wasn't Untucked.
Right? It has to be, right? Like there's just, I don't understand. I have never been more confused by the treatment of a Drag Race contestant.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Other than maybe Charity Case by the judges, but that's like a specific whatever instance.
The only thing I can really equate it to is like when the girls told Utica that she was being shady when the cameras were off, and when they told her like just be that when the cameras are on, calm down. Like that's the only thing.
I literally listened to podcasts about season 13 where they were talking about that, so I had the same thought in my brain.
Yeah, it's basically the same thing, like, but like a lot different, because in this situation it doesn't feel like Siam is acting differently when the cameras are off, she's just acting the same way, and everyone's just like, this has to be fake, right? It's fake. It's fake. Okay,
Or
we
it
can all
feels-
agree it's fake.
It feels kind of like how Maggie and Angelita had been treating Mariana on España this season. Like,
Yeah, that
it's
makes
very
sense.
much so like, just because you're a naturally positive person and you don't want to like be rude and shady, like just because you're that
I
kind of
mean,
person.
they were provoked.
Oh, 100%, and I do agree with you. But I'm saying in the Siam situation, just because you're a naturally positive person and you don't want to give people negative critique
Right.
because you're also a competitor,
Right.
like, huh?
I mean,
And I do also, I want to, oh, sorry, go ahead, Lana.
go ahead.
I was just going to say as well, to preface everything, Siam has talked about things on social media since the episode came out and has said that her and the other girls have come to, I believe the exact quote was, an understanding.
Okay.
So I don't
They ain't
think
close.
anything is positive
They
necessarily.
ain't close.
When you
They
say
ain't
that,
close.
They're not close. They're not close.
Here's the thing.
Okay.
She's just like,
Um,
I'm done. We're good.
So to
I don't want
preface
no-
all of the criticism that we're going to have of people in this episode, we are talking about these people as people in the show and not as people in real life. I just also want to preface all of our conversation because I'm probably going to have some not so nice things to say about certain people in this episode.
Right.
I'm going to be honest
And
because
I really like her, but ZP is giving big Regina George energy. Like even her question
I agree.
where she's like, "Do you think people don't like you?" Like it just felt very like pointed and like there's not a good answer for that. It reminded me like, "Oh, so you think you're pretty?" Like that sort of thing from Regina
Now that
George.
you mention it, it does feel like there is a group of 3 queens that are all ganging up on Siam specifically, and I could put them in a role
Oh
in
yeah,
Mean Girls.
100%.
Like it feels like there's 3 that are going
The
really hard on her.
ZP, Godlin, and Gigi.
Gigi.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I think Spicy's not far behind them.
Yeah. Spicy's also being really.
And honestly, I don't think Benza is that far behind either.
Everyone's kind of
Nana
being a
Safira.
bitch, honestly.
And
Nana
Nana's
Safira had
not.
that passive aggressive comment about polished queens from abroad.
And even Frankie isn't really, defending.
I will defend Frankie later on.
Okay, great.
I mean,
Anyway, Lana, what were you gonna say earlier when I cut you off?
I don't know.
Okay.
I forgot.
Okay.
Sorry.
I mean,
Sorry.
y'all started talking, so I forgot everything I was gonna say. So let's keep
Sorry.
it moving.
Well, we're gonna keep it moving to Pangina coming into the workroom looking beautiful as Pangina always does. And we find out that it's the reading challenge. And this introduction of the reading challenge gave me my favorite moment of this entire episode. Because clearly, so you have Godland standing next to Benzie. And Godland is immediately excited. Lily is also very excited. And I'm glad to hear it. Immediately, Godland is like jumping up and down, like super excited, knows exactly what's going to happen. And Benza is just standing there like, and then when Pangina says, because reading is what? You hear Godland go, fundamental! And then standing next to her is Benza going, Immensa! This woman has not watched any... Has this woman watched Drag Race? I love Mother. I love Mother so dearly. That is Mother. But has she seen Drag Race?
I don't think so. Especially, I don't think she's seen modern Drag Race.
No, not at all. But we do get a reading challenge, and it was very singularly successful by only one person.
Yes. Yes. This started the bad. The
start of the episode started the bad. This was
this was the bad
slow
comedy.
Oh yeah.
It started the bad comedy.
Yeah, and we got some kind of harsh reads too. Like I thought the read about Siam's veneers from Gigi was kind of rude, which it's actually funny because apparently Jeffree Star had a very similar comment about Trixie Mattel recently on social media that's been making the rounds.
Yeah, Yeah, and
Mhm.
it's weird that someone with worse teeth is saying something about that. Anyways, moving on.
For me, the best read was Godlin telling Benzadiva that she needs to
Yep.
quit playing with the children
Yep.
and go back to the nursing home.
And my favorite part about that is that Benze was like, no, I'll take it. And then she dished back some adequate reads. Benze, I think, was of the people that were not Godland, who won, obviously. I think Benze was the next best, for me at least. Because it was like, it was light, there wasn't a whole lot of substance to it, but people laughed.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I feel like Goblin definitely was the very obvious winner. I mean, everyone got 2 reads and Goblin got 4. So you immediately knew she's winning. But all 4 of them were good. I think Bensie's like read to Siam was kind of funny. And I skipped most of the other ones because I was cringing so hard I didn't want to look at them anymore.
Same.
Wasn't good.
Yep. Anyway, Godlin won. Yay. Godlin won something. Yay. We find out that the Maxi Challenge is Snatch Game.
Yay.
I don't know about y'all who have seen season 2, and by y'all currently on screen, I mean Eduardo. This feels like season 2 of US Snatch Game.
Yes.
Where no one really understood what exactly to do, but a couple of people made it funny.
Yeah, it felt like a lot of people were actually attempting to be the character and not trying to be funny.
Mm-hmm.
Like they were just like, okay, I just have to be this character, and this character that I'm choosing is a very like boring character or a very like singular character that does things a very particular way that would not be good in a comedy challenge. And I was just kind of confused overall because like it's already tough when it comes to judging like international snatch games because you're not gonna know most of the people that like they're gonna be referencing. So you just have to hope that they're funny enough for you to get it. And I was getting nervous. I'm not even gonna lie. I was getting really nervous. And spoiler
Your
alert,
nerves were correct.
my nerves were correct. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest about this Snatch Game. I watched it and I was utterly confused most of the time. Because I didn't know most of the characters. And then it got to a point where I was so confused that I was like, I just zoned out. I don't know what's happening here. I don't know what's going on here. It just wasn't. Nothing was making me laugh. Like I wasn't. And I'm like, sometimes I can watch international Snatch Games, and even if I don't know the characters, they are doing something to make me laugh. This one just didn't do it. And so when it comes to talking about it, I'm doing the Beyonce challenge. I'm gonna be on mute because I ain't got nothing to say. I'm be honest, I got nothing to say.
But will you fail at it like most
Yes.
tour dates?
I will fail right from the beginning because I'll probably say something. Because
Everybody on
I don't
mute.
know how to be quiet, David. I don't know how to be quiet. Okay.
I don't think I really knew any of the impersonations that happened in this Snatch Game. Let's be honest. I don't think I knew who any of them were. Even if it was a seemingly recognizable person that I know, I didn't know that impersonation.
Mhm.
So,
Like you were doing something. I don't know how Rihanna
were
or Marilyn
there.
Monroe it was, but it was
you
something.
were present
If
and
I had-
accounted for.
Yeah, if I had a penny for every time we've had Rihanna on Snatch Game on the last
This season.
year, I'd have 2
And
nickels,
they
which isn't a
ended up
lot,
in
but
the
it's weird when it's
bottom?
happened twice. Yes,
You-
I'd have 2 nickels,
You'd have
which isn't
2
a lot.
nickels?
Sold it for me.
Wait,
pennies. I don't
if
know.
you had a penny
Girl.
for each time, we've had
Girl.
10.
I don't know money. U.S. money is stupid. What are you talking about?
Not you said I'm
Don't
gonna
try
be
me.
stupid when you said a
Do not
penny.
try
is
me.
just
I am
What
not
are
in
you-
the mood.
A penny is a cent. Oh my god!
If I had a nickel for every
Anyway.
time someone did Snatch Game on Rihanna as Rihanna in the last 3 weeks and ended up in the bottom 2 lip syncing for their life, I would have 2 nickels, which isn't a
2
whole lot,
nickels.
but it's wild
Absolute-
that it's happened twice. And I was going to
There
save
you
that
go.
for later, you little bitch. But yeah, Pangina does her walkthroughs, and it's basically like, okay, who are you doing? Insert Thai person I've never heard of. Insert another type, and I hate that is just where we're at with this Snatch Game, but that is.
I want to say this about Pangina though. I love Pangina. I enjoy Pangina, and in this episode, I enjoyed her a lot, except in this moment because she was just like, up next, Benzadiva, and then she'll go back and like every time she'll look right into the camera and say, Gotland. What do we do? You know, Gigi Foro's
Hey,
chest. I
that's
was like,
cute.
stop. Please stop. Please stop doing it. Please stop breaking the fourth wall, looking right in the camera, and then coming
love
back
it.
to the.
I
was
will
like,
say,
"Aw."
Pangina's hosting and the overall show has improved dramatically since episode 1.
Yeah.
Mhm,
Quality
mhm,
of
mhm.
show has improved drastically. Pangina still has a lot of work to do.
Yeah, I was gonna say
It's
she's
still
still
that
like
She's
audio at the
doing
end.
good, but she's doing good. That's the
The
thing.
show, the
She
show
is
was
not
doing
bad.
well. Look,
David, don't give me that look. She is doing really well, and I love Pangina dearly.
Then
But
get
there
off her
are
neck.
still okay. Hey, if you would let me
love it.
finish my statement instead of going, I would be able to tell you that I'm not on her neck. I think she's doing really
I'm
well.
on her neck.
And judging against first season hosts, I think she's doing above
She's
average.
doing great. She's doing good. She's doing good.
The show just needs to elevate itself a little bit more, and I think we'll see that with a season 4.
The audio at the end, I was like,
Oh,
no.
the audio at the beginning, in the middle, at the end, when we couldn't even hear Frankie at the start of the episode, I was like,
Hello? But
huh?
okay, we move. But yeah,
Okay.
Pangina talking to everybody, finding out what their costumes are, what their celebrities, who their celebrities are. And trying to give them some tips, trying to help them out. If you want to do this, are you sure this is where you want to go? How are you going to make this funny? How are you going to take this and make this? You have to make it funny as long as you're funny. And she emphasized that a lot.
Funny.
Make it funny. Everybody, you got to make it funny. And I felt like everybody took that and was like, okay.
Literally.
Just like,
I think no one achieved that. I think no one achieved
No.
being funny.
making it
the
funny.
big to do in this part is that Frankie is trying to decide between 2 characters, one of which is someone with a physical impairment. I understood it once we got to the Snatch Game. And ultimately, if the person being referenced and being parodied has publicly said, oh yeah, no, I love when people do it. I love that Frankie went ahead and did this character. I understand and I thoroughly respect her concern about it and asking Pangina about it. And I do love that we got that moment too. So, yeah. Do we want to talk about the Snatch Game now, or do we want to talk about the rest of the workroom stuff now?
It's cringe either way. I don't know. Let's do Snatch Game. Fuck it. It's
Yeah, I
the
guess
least
since
worst.
no one else is, no one else is okay. That's fine.
Yeah, it's
We'll do that.
the least worst.
Well, here we go. It's Snatch Game.
Yay!
We'll talk about the guest judge later because I have a lot to say about Miss Cindy because I love her. And I do love that Pangina obviously referenced Jimbo. Woo. Good job.
Yay.
Proud of you. But yes, here is our Snatch Game. Oh God. Do we even need to go person by person?
I think we have to because I have different problems with everyone.
Okay.
Right.
David, do you mind starting us off then?
Sure. So Godlin is playing Brian Tan. she had mentioned in the workroom that this is a tipsy character. I wasn't sure what she meant by that because when I think of tipsy, I think of like drunk, like a little drunk. But I don't know that that's the context she was saying it in. But she gave a performance that was really low energy. Like, I think Godlin had the least animated character of anybody on the panel. It was just all really deadpan, and I'm guessing that was intentional. But for me, she wasn't really selling any of the humor. And there was one point where she made a joke, and nobody laughed except one of the judges, and she thanked the contestants, and she thanked that contestant for laughing, and they said they laughed because it wasn't funny. Um, so I thought she was bombing this severely. Like, I did not think anything she did was even close to funny. So for me, I ranked her number 7.
Well, this one was weird because she started off somewhat okay. Somewhat, it was fine. I wasn't trying to gouge my eyes and ears out with this one like I did with a few others. Um, but then it started getting worse and worse and worse. And when I was like, "Oh, Gotland could win," wait, no, she can't win now, but she can be. No, she's gonna be safe. Oh, now I'm scared. Now I'm scared. I am scared. It just kept getting worse, and you know it's bad when the guest is saying, "Oh yeah, you're not funny" to your face. You know it's bad, and you know it's bad when I think you are not in the bottom 3. Like, you know that I agree with the judge, and even then I wouldn't put you in the bottom 3 because, like, as I said, I wasn't trying to gouge my eyes and ears out with this one, but I definitely was with some others. So that's why she is just safe for me. She's fifth. She's fifth for me.
Interestingly enough, I actually really found an interesting deadpan dry comedy to what Godland was doing. Go ahead, roll your eyes, David. I see
I
it
didn't
happening.
roll my eyes.
You want
Did-
to though.
Did you find it funny before you found out she was in the top, or after you found out she was in the top?
While I was watching Snatch Game,
Okay.
David, in a sea of people who didn't say anything comedic whatsoever, I actually thought Godlin was pretty half decent. I'm gonna assume that this character and this person is just very deadpan, dry comedy. For me, I have Godland at number 3.
Okay.
And it's not a strong number 3.
What number did you say, Eduardo? I missed it. Oh, you're muted.
6?
I don't know. Fully muted.
Sorry, I thought I was unmuted. Sorry.
No.
Fifth,
Okay. 5th.
just above low.
Okay.
So, like,
Yeah. Next up, we had Benzadiva as Marilyn Monroe. She did a shtick that we've seen so many times in Snatch Game. She starts off, "Oh, where am I? What am I doing here?" All of that thing that just never is really funny. And then it just kept going to a lot of the same jokes. Like, I was able to predict a few of her answers because I'm like, "Oh, it's probably going to be diamonds." Oh, it is diamonds. She probably
What?
didn't even have to use a new card. She just reuse the same card multiple times. So I really just don't think she knew enough about Marilyn Monroe than the very surface level things. So for me, this was my least favorite. I had her number 8.
yeah, Benzie had 2 jokes. In the jokes were diamonds and sleeping pills, and that's about it. So, that's not a lot to go off of. And then, like, you're just repeating jokes throughout the entirety of Snatch Game. So it just got repetitive, it got boring, it got predictable. and it just wasn't given Marilyn in any way, shape, or form. And even then, I thought that the the sleeping pills jokes were never funny. Like they were never particularly like interesting. Like the first time that she said diamonds, I was like, okay, sure, that's not awful. And then she said sleeping pills, and I was like, oh, sure. If we want to go there, I don't think we should go there, but we can. Um, yeah, I was really, I felt like a father. Like I'm not angry. I'm just deeply upset at you. I'm deeply disappointed. I am so sorry. But yeah, she was one of the ones that I was like, can I just stop watching, please and thank you. She was my number 7.
I really thought when she started with the airheaded, oh my god, where am I? Like, I really thought it was going to go somewhere positive. It never did. Never whatsoever did it go anywhere other than what it was. Now, I will say, I have her number 7 simply because I think she looks like Marilyn Monroe. And I think her physical impersonation was better than the person I have 8th, who also did a character who I know.
Next up, we have CP, who was Teak Clincy, I guess. A character I have no idea who they are, but I actually thought, once again, CP is funny. She was one of the stronger characters for me. She had jokes that I laughed at, which were not very common in this Snatch Game. There was something that she answered early on about it raining pubic hair, and I was like, this is just so unhinged. So I was really into her character. Oh, I think one of my favorite parts of the whole Snatch Game was when one of her answers, after she gave an answer, the contestants were like, "Oh, do you have a big pussy?" She's like, "Well, the pussy's not big, but the balls are the size of an arm." And I was like, "Okay." So I think ZP is just showing that consistency. For me, she was number 2 for the night.
I thought CP was fine. Like just fine. I did not care for this character. I I feel like no one really did their character justice in any way, shape, or form. Because normally when I watch international Snatch Games, I go into it mostly not knowing anyone, but then leaving being like, I think I learned something about this character. I think I learned, and this was funny. Like the way I immediately like compare it is to Philippines because they're both Asian like drag race seasons. And Philippines was really funny, and I didn't know most of the characters, but I thought a lot of them were funny. In here, I didn't know a lot of the characters, and I thought most of them were not funny. I thought CP was one of those characters that had something interesting that could have gone somewhere, and just like wasn't really doing much with it. It's just a character that just wasn't for me, but she was consistent and she wasn't awful. Therefore, that's why she was 4th for me.
I interestingly, for a lot of the same reasons as Eduardo, have ZP at number 4. I loved the balls as big as an arm joke, and that was kind of like the big joke for me for ZP. I thought her answers were solid overall, but I didn't get a whole lot of characterization. Like you said, Eduardo, I wanted to know who this person was, and I have no idea who this person is afterwards, other than maybe having balls as big as an arm. I don't know. But in a sea of not great performances, ZP floats up to number 4 for me.
Next up, we had Siam, who was Mama Fumpong. I actually thought Siam started off fairly strong. There was one part, especially when she gave an answer and it was hail, and that was one of the funniest moments for me because everybody was like, "What hail? Like the place you go?" And there was just like all of this like chaotic confusion in a funny way. But that was the peak for Siam and her answers, and it all went downhill from there. And the more I heard her answers, I was like, I just don't understand anything about what you're saying or doing, and it just felt really confusing. So I have everybody split pretty evenly. I have my top 4 and my bottom 4. She was the best of my bottom 4, so she's number 5.
I actually disagree with you there. I thought that chaos was the thing that made me the most uncomfortable.
Oh,
I did not enjoy it. I was really confused, and I was not laughing at anything that was going on. I didn't find it funny. I was really confused. And I think what makes it worse for me is the fact that this is clearly like one of the most beloved like characters or people in Thai culture. And if someone were to do that with like a Mexican character and I saw someone fuck it up the way that Siam fucked up this character, I don't think I would ever forgive them like in life. I think I would be like deeply upset, in which I would just be like, walk out the damn door. I don't want to see your face right now.
ooh, maybe that answers the questions we have about the rest of the episode.
Maybe.
Maybe, sure, but like it's not the only issue I have with Siam right now. The fact that like I would be so upset at her if she fucked up this character. Like if I was a Mexican character that was at the same caliber, I would be really upset. And so knowing that and not finding any of it funny, like ever, I put her last. She was my least favorite.
Interesting. I have Siam at number 6 because she made me laugh more than Benze and Gigi. That's honestly all I have to say.
Okay. Next up, we have Nane Safira. She was Chao Korkao. I thought she had funny moments. Her character was passing out at times. They had to like pull her up by her hair. She did a really good job of getting attention on her when it was on other queens. She had her moments, but I will say the times that there was not focus on her, she was probably the person on the panel that I kept forgetting the most about. So she was on when she was on, but when she was off, she was just out of sight, out of mind. So for me, she was my least favorite of the 4 I liked. That's why I have her at number 4.
Fair. I think she was funnier than most. I will say that. And I think she was consistent as well. I think she was one of the only ones that consistently made me chuckle slightly. Made me go, huh, that's somewhat funny. So that is an accomplishment in a sea of absolute horse shit. So like she had funny moments. I liked when she was cutting the ribbon, when she was like passing out. I thought those moments were somewhat funny. And that's enough for me at this point because Lord have mercy, this was a really bad Snatch Game. So that's why Nanny somehow found herself in my number 1. She was my favorite because she was the only one that was consistent.
Honestly, so valid. So valid. I think all of our rankings are just going to be weird when it comes to this Snatch Game. For me, for a lot of the same reasons that David brought up, I have Nane at number 5. I think the moments that she was on, she was really good. I love the moment, and I have a lot of respect for it too. The moment where she puts her head down, and then everyone else ends up making the joke about her, but she just put her head down because she couldn't stop laughing. I thought that was fun. I saw that as something benefiting another person that we'll talk about here shortly, who I have much higher in my ranking. But I do agree with you, David. When she wasn't on, she was invisible. Like, she wasn't doing anything. She was literally just sitting there. Mm-hmm. So I have her at number
5. Next, we have Spicy Sunshine, who is Patu.
Patu.
I really liked what she did. I think what she did well, that nobody else did nearly as strong as her, was the consistent banter, especially with the people who were the contestants in the Snatch Game. it felt like, I don't know her character, but it felt like her character must actually have some sort of relationship with one of the people that was a contestant just by the way they were able to
Oh
volley
yeah.
back and forth.
Oh yes. Sorry. Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, and the thing is, she would milk her time as much as possible. And there are ways that you could do that where it'd be like, okay, come on, we want to move on. But no, I was living for it. Every second that she was milking out of her question, she was just consistently delivering. For me, she was number one by a large margin.
Fair. I thought she had really funny moments, and then moments where I was just like, "Oh, I'm not living for this." So for me, it was a little inconsistent. I was really enjoying the banter, but then there were moments in which I was like confused because like I said this before we started the podcast. I think Thai comedy just doesn't translate that well into English, and so I felt like I was missing a lot of jokes, and like I was missing a lot, and like I was hearing people laugh, and I was confused because what I was reading in the subtitles wasn't particularly funny to me, and so I was just kind of overall confused. I thought the banter was really good, and she was the only one that really used it to her benefit. So I will give her huge props for that. And that's one of my favorite things about this Snatch game was her bantering with this guest. However, I was also really like weirded out by this moment where she was just they were asking her like, "Oh, it starts with an M, it starts with a J," and I was so confused
It's
that
got to
it,
be something we don't like. The
yeah.
American
And
audiences
so
don't know,
like
but Thai audiences
I
do.
think that's why I said like I think I am missing something. And since I am missing something, it just wasn't funny for me. And it felt very similar to the chaos that Siam had, in which it was just like it's chaotic, I'm not getting it, and like it's not particularly funny to me. Therefore, she had high highs and kind of low lows, so that's why she's number two.
Oh my god! I thought you were gonna put her so much further down on
Me
your
too.
list
I was
based on
getting
what you said. I
nervous.
was like,
No,
I was like,
because like one like Nani was consistent. She wasn't consistent, but she had higher highs. Therefore, number two. There you go.
well, you
But
started
as I
talking
said,
about Siam, and I was like, is he about to put her seventh?
no, no, I
Thank
didn't
God.
hate it. I
Okay,
thought
thank
it
God.
was okay. As I said,
Thank
this
God.
match game was bad.
Well,
So
yes.
overall, if you were okay, that's enough for me. Like number two,
Um,
congratulations.
I think I already know who our average number one is going to be. I also have Spicy at number two. I think her and one other person, not Gigi, that we'll talk about here shortly, really did the best with the banter of Snatch Game. They were able to pick up on other people's jokes and really use them to their advantage. The characterization was great. The interaction with Lutini was phenomenal. Her and that person clearly have a history, and I really love that Spicy used that to her advantage here. Um, it was a very very well done performance in a sea of not as great performances. So,
Lana,
Lana,
number one. Okay. Next up, we had Gigi Ferocious, who was Rihanna.
was
Um,
she?
well, to be fair,
Supposedly,
she said that she was going to be Thai Rihanna, not Rihanna Rihanna. So, and sure, because I did not get a lot of Rihanna from her. Um, and I didn't really get a lot of jokes from her. I I felt like she was at a disadvantage where she was sitting too, because she kept being upstaged by the people on either side of her. So there was just a lot of floundering. I had a pretty decisive bottom three. For me, it would have been a bottom three lip syncing, but she was number six.
yeah, Gigi just wasn't Rihanna. I don't know why people say that they're gonna do Rihanna and then proceed not to do Rihanna in any way, shape, or form. Like it's happened twice, and both times they haven't done Rihanna. One was a weird, crazy girl, and then Gigi was whatever the fuck this was. This was not good. This was not good. But what I will give her though is that she was trying something. Were they flopping miserably? Yes, but she was trying something. And that's better than monotone speaking and just disrespecting an icon, in my opinion. So that's why she's at number 6. But damn, this was bad. This was bad. Really bad. I was not enjoying this.
This was my number 8. This was by far my least favorite, personally. Can we never do Rihanna on Snatch Game again, y'all? Like, genuinely, I don't think we need to do Rihanna ever again.
Yeah,
Do
this is
Rihanna
another
as
big
Rihanna.
situation.
Don't do Rihanna with a twist.
Yeah.
Lana, this is your moment, Lana. Have it. Damn it, Lana. I wanted you to have your moment.
No,
She
but
agrees.
yeah.
Just honest to God, don't do pop stars. We've seen, unless
Pop
you
star
are
bench.
a celebrity.
Don't do Popstar Bench.
Come in with mediocre outfits.
I mean, you're not lying, but damn. Damn.
What is it with girls that were kind of mediocre on their seasons of Asian Drag Race seasons this year, coming out with great promos? Popstar and Shortgun.
Oh,
Yeah.
No, what I'm saying is don't do pop stars, plural, not to be confused with Popstar Bench, who is a lovely woman. Don't do pop stars. We don't know what their person, unless you're gonna do Chapel Roan yelling at a photographer, which I would love to see. Or someone whose personality is super big. Don't do a pop star. Like, it just doesn't. I understand she probably does Rihanna as part of her shows, and I understand that. This is what made it feel the most like a season 2 Snatch Game for me, because she did a pop star, didn't know anything about her, and just kind of made up bullshit the whole time. So for me, yeah, she was number 8, which is unfortunate because I really like Gigi.
I will break my silence.
Yay!
And I will say, yes, there are ways to do Rihanna. You could do Rihanna. You just have to know Rihanna. Like, I would have brought up, first I would have started as pop star Rihanna and been like, doing song titles and lyrics to a song and just whatever. Then I would have turned into business mogul Rihanna, and I would have had makeup, just palettes and palettes of makeup, just giving it out like, here, you get a Fenty, you get a Fenty, and that, or something like, oh, no, baby, that's my brand. You can't have that. Like, be the diva. Be diva Rihanna. Be the brand mogul Rihanna. And then turn into mama Rihanna. Pull out a baby. Like, oh, sorry, I have to breastfeed my baby. And then you turn into that. Like, but I'm still a mogul. Like, you could be diva Rihanna, but you just have to flesh out your character and be able to give the timing with that. And I think she just didn't know what to do. And even though she said she's going to give us Thai Rihanna, she didn't even give us that. That was just somebody who was named Rihanna. That was Rihanna Jenkins. That wasn't.
It was
the
just
Rihanna
a Thai black woman. That's what it was.
That
It
was
a
Rihanna
Thai-
Thomas from up
It was
the
Gigi
street.
Ferocious.
That was Rihanna Thomas from up the street, and not Rihanna from Barbados. Like, that is not that. And so that's the only thing. It's the way to do Rihanna, and I'm not saying you don't have to do it, but if you're going to do her, you have to over exaggerate everything about her, because Rihanna is not a big personality. She is not that girl that's going to have all types of jokes, but she does things that's funny. Like, Rihanna has several memes out there where she's just like,
Yeah.
several memes of Rihanna doing some funny stuff. You just have to figure it out and just do it and make it funny. And she has so many sides of her. Just play off one of the sides if you can't do all of them.
Or even like one of your prepared canned answers could have been, well, I don't know, but bitch better have my money. Like, just reference her muse, do anything to reference
when she said,
her.
when you go do some money, when she did say work.
Yeah.
But I'm like, when she asked her, when Pangina asked her, when is the next single coming out? I'm like, well, bitch, you got my money? Then my next single will come out.
Bitch,
like,
have my money, and then I will give,
I will give more, like, buy more Fenty, and I'll make more music. Period. Like, I would just throw stuff out there and just be real, like, diva-esque about it. But maybe one day somebody will get Rihanna right on Snatch Game.
I doubt
Lord.
Now I'm going back to my silence.
At this point,
Bye,
it's like
Lana. We'll see you
Beyonce.
in
Just
like
don't
5
do it.
seconds.
Just
Right.
don't.
Rihanna is the same as Pink, is the same as Beyonce, is the same as Lady Gaga, is the same as Kesha, is the same. Notice what I
Pop
said
stars.
earlier? Not to be confused with Pop Star Bench, who was a lovely woman.
Same as Britney Spears, same as Cher, same as Liza Minnelli.
Unless
You can
Liza's
do
not a
you're
Liza.
just trying to piss
star.
me off today.
No, you can do Liza, but
I know that
Cher
was
and
my
all the
point.
rest of them.
These are
no.
ones.
And
No,
I-
these are ones that have won Snatch Game.
But
Ah.
what I said, David Healy, is unless you are a celebrity impersonator of that person,
You
don't
didn't
do
say
it.
that. You didn't.
I literally did.
I think you
This
thought
is
it.
not my. This is
I'm about
not
to say,
my
I don't
street
remember you
heaven moment.
saying.
Either that, or I tried to start saying it, and David interrupted me.
No,
So-
no.
I think
How about
it
Eduardo?
was
Did
a
you hear him
situation.
say anything about if you were a celebrity interpreter?
That's why I'm saying I
don't
think
think
you
you said
thought of
that.
it. I just don't think the
Whatever.
words came
Can
out
we
of
talk
your
Sarah
about Frankie and
Geronimo.
get done
Do
with it,
Sarah
please?
Geronimo. That works.
Not
Yeah.
Sarah Geronimo.
stupid.
Hello.
But continue.
Yes. Next we have Frankie Wanga, who was Ang Terteng. So I thought Frankie had the biggest physical transformation, which I really appreciated, and a very, very distinct characterization. And I liked a lot of what Frankie did. I don't know that I laughed a ton with Frankie, and I think part of it was because with the knowledge that we got in the workroom, with knowing that this character has some sort of physical like disability, I was a little uncomfortable with it because just the way, like, especially with this voice that was being done, I was like, this feels like it's crossing a line, even if the person says that they're happy with it. And for me, it just made me a little bit uncomfortable, but I still appreciated a lot of the things that Frankie was doing and that Frankie was really going for it. But yeah, this was one of the harder ones for me to judge just because it was weird.
Mhm. I agree with you.
Number 3 for me.
Fair. I agree with you. This one was weird because it was funny. It was funny. I do think she had like a swing and a miss in that very last joke. So it really kind of finished all Snatch Game with a really like odd, weird feeling. Like not a funny moment. Anyways, uh I thought that she was really like into her character and she knew what she was doing and she knew like what she was referencing and she knew it pretty well. And so it was very clear that there were references in what she was doing and what she was saying and that they were funny. But I also agree with you. There was this moment of questioning in my mind of like, is this like the way that this person is, or are we really pushing the limit? Like, are we really pushing the limit towards like who this character is and who they are and like the way that they present themselves? I don't know this character, so therefore I cannot really say. So I just left it as this is exactly who this person is, and I will then later on learn whether like she did a really good job or whether she fucked it up. I will see. But before judging, I was like, okay, I think this was funny. I think it's a successful, somewhat like jokes. She did have misses, and there were moments in which I was like a little uncomfortable. But you know what? That's enough for you to be in third in this situation. So congratulations, Frankie, you're third.
For me, I think Frankie conveyed her character the clearest. I think she had the best impersonation of a character that I don't know. Her volley was the best, her banter was the best, and I think she took the best advantage of the situations and the jokes that everybody else had around her. Therefore, she was my number 1.
Fair. I do have average rankings.
Lord.
Number 8 was Benzadiva. Number 7, Gigi Ferocious. Number 6, Siam. Number 5, Godland. There's actually a tie for 3rd and 4th between CP and Nani Sphera. And then number 2 would be Frankie, and number 1, Spicy Sunshine.
Fair.
Lovely. Well, now we got to go back to talking about the girls shitting all over Siam.
What are we missing? Really, what are we missing?
What are
is
we
going
missing?
on? What is going on behind the scenes that we are not seeing? And why are the girls not talking about it to us? Because we clearly are not seeing something. And this entire situation really left a sour taste in my mouth, specifically towards the three girls that we mentioned before, to Gotland, to CP, and to like Gigi. It really left me really uncomfortable and really like I wanted to turn off like the episode. I was like, I need this to be over immediately. This is not funny shade. This is not like, oh, we have a villain that's somewhat shady and we're gonna. No, this was just a really uncomfortable situation in which these three girls and most of the other girls were shitting on Siam for absolutely no reason. And I'm just really sitting here incredibly uncomfortable. And I just like, Lord. And I also, when Gotland pulled out the I didn't come here to make friends, I wanted to throw my iPad through the wall. I was like, you're not about to pull this bullshit here. You're not about to be like, I'm gonna. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I was really upset. I was really upset at what was going on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I took so many notes on this. Like, how do I have like 12 lines of notes from this like 5-minute argument? I don't know. It's wild. It's wild because honestly, the way it started with Gigi was asking Siam how she felt about the conversation from yesterday. I thought this was going to be one of those good workroom moments where somebody's like, hey, I know how that came across. How are you feeling? How can we make you feel better? But no, she doubled down. It felt like Siam wasn't even given a chance to respond to a lot of the questions here, and they were just coming for her. Like Godlin immediately said, I think you're too optimistic. It feels like an act. And I've been there. Like I've had the same sort of accusations thrown at me because I try to be positive. And yeah, I've been accused of being fake when I really don't try to be. You can be an optimistic, positive person and still be realistic, but you don't have to focus on the negative things all the time. And I think that's what Siam is doing. She, like, even when given the opportunity to complain about people, she's choosing not to. So I think I can relate to her a lot.
Yeah, I think we talked about it before we got on the air. I think a lot of people that I've heard and that I've talked to who live outside of the United States have a thing about Americans that they're too happy all the time, or they're fake, or the way they come off is disingenuous. And with Siam living in the United States, I feel like number one, they have an issue with her being on this show, being she's abroad from, she's living abroad and all that stuff. But I also think they feel like her optimism or her positivity all the time is a bit disingenuous because a lot of people don't feel that way. And I thought that, I was like, that can't be just an American thing. That just doesn't seem like that's just an American thing. But the more I talk to other people outside of America, they're like, yeah, sometimes it comes off of y'all too happy all the time. And I'm like, but we're not. Like, it's a bunch of folks like who are complete jerks and assholes in America, and they don't come off positive all the time. And we don't do, but I guess when something about when you speak to people and you're trying to be polite and you don't want to hurt people's feelings, and we do things with a little more like, oh, if somebody say, oh, how do you like my outfit? Oh, it's nice. Instead of saying that is the tackiest outfit I've ever seen in my life. Instead of saying
the ugliest effing skirt I've
ever seen. Skirt I've ever seen in my life, we'd be like, oh, that's a nice skirt. That's it. It's no I'm not gonna go over beyond and be like, oh, that's so beautiful. Like, oh my God. But I'm not gonna be like, that is so ugly. It's just, oh, that's nice. If you like it, I love it. We'll find any way to make it as positive as possible. And I guess that comes off as disingenuous to people. And I was very confused about this whole thing because Siam was like, I'm just saying what I'm saying. I'm just being who I am. This is me. This is me. And they're like, no, that's not you. That's not, I don't believe that's you. It's something else. You're just not being real. And that's kind of fake. And I feel like that's a little unfair because you don't know her. Y'all just met her when she came on the show, which was a couple weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't really know her. And they're like, well, we're trying to get to know her. If you are, then you accept what she's giving you. And when she does, if there is more, she'll open up when she feels comfortable around you. But if I was Siam, I would never say nothing to none of them. Like, you would never catch me vulnerable because I feel like the way y'all are acting, you will use that against me. You will take my vulnerable stuff and you will weaponize it and use it against me because I don't trust you like that. So I'm not going to let you into my inner circle, into my life and my deepest, darkest secrets when I can't even trust that y'all go take that and like, you can't even accept that this is me being nice. You already calling me fake. So how am I supposed to react to that? How am I supposed to open myself up and be vulnerable around you? And even when she did and was trying to tell them about how when she got caught playing with dolls and how the teacher blamed her and other people were blaming her about playing with these dolls and
None
they were
of
like,
them cared.
they did not care. They were like, that's not
one of
the
them was
same
like,
thing.
that's not the same thing.
That's not the same thing. And I was like, even when she's
It was Lindsay that was like, that's not the same thing. I'm like, huh? Like, what? Genuinely? Like, I would have thought that this woman, Siam, had like killed all of their puppies and thrown away all their makeup and ripped up all their garments and snatched all their wigs or some shit. Like, the treatment is just so strange. I don't get it.
And I think the hardest thing is just seeing the pure confusion and pain in Siam's eyes. Like, she's looking at them like, I don't understand. What am I doing wrong? And they're just not giving her anything that really makes sense. It's not making sense to her, and it's not making sense to me. And I'm assuming it doesn't make sense to the panelists. And they keep saying, like, ZP's like, well, meet us in the middle. We're willing to meet you halfway. You have to come meet us in the middle. What does that mean? What does that mean?
Exactly.
Meet you in the middle with what?
Yeah, it's weird. Also, like, it was very weird also when Siam did have a moment where she was just like, just leave me the fuck alone. That's when Gigi was like, that's the real you. That's the real you I wanted to see. And so it felt very much like on Global All Stars when Queen was calling everyone out for being too nice. Like, they're clearly thinking that she's not acting the way that she should be acting because they're expecting something out of her. They're expecting her to be like this argumentative people or to be just as, like, I don't know. It's like we've seen this in reality television several times where someone calls another person fake, and then when they start fighting, they're like, oh, that's the real you. That's the you I wanted to see. And I'm just like, why? Why did you want to see someone mad? This is not the real them. This is just them angry at you. This is
I
not.
think that's it. I think that they want to fight with her. They just don't like her, but she's not giving them enough motivation to fight. Like, they're like, it's like if you're doing like a fight after school with somebody and you're ready to beat them up, but they're not doing anything to defend themselves or anything like that, then it's like, well, how am I supposed to punch them if they're not going to punch me back? I want to punch you. Give me reason to punch you. Like, that's what I'm getting from them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I did think Frankie tried to diffuse the situation near the end, and that's where I'm giving Frankie credit above anybody else. And yeah, it seemed like nobody else was really willing to see Siam's perspective outside of Frankie. So
yeah. Yeah.
It's just frustrating, and it makes, and I'm so happy again that Drag Race Thailand is back. I'm so happy that this season is happening. I'm happy for the girls. I'm happy for Pangina. I'm happy for the entire Thai drag scene. Truthfully, this episode makes me not want to watch the rest of the season. Honestly. Because what we're going to be left with is Siam versus 6 people who don't care for her. And until Siam is gone, all they're going to keep doing is talking about how they don't like Siam and they don't understand Siam. And that's frustrating to me. And I would be frustrated by that if it was anyone in that situation. Like, being the person who was misunderstood for most of my life, I know how that feels, and it's not fun. It's not a good feeling when people are constantly coming at you and you're trying to understand why they're coming at you, and they're not giving you reasons for why they're coming at you. Like, I feel very, very personally with what Siam is going through, and it frustrates me because I know what that's like personally, and it's bullshit. It's just bullshit. But we could be here all day talking about it, but we must move because there are other things to discuss in this episode. Most importantly, the most exciting thing to talk about, and that is the runway. And first, I want to talk about the panel as a whole.
Wait, before we start, who the fuck did Pangina push off the stage? Who did Pangina push off the stage at the very beginning? Because there was someone standing there, and then Pangina just pushed them off.
It had to be a PA or something.
Probably.
It had to be a PA.
But wow.
It had to be a PA.
That was funny. That was the best moment of this episode, because that was the only moment where I was just like, that was funny. That's it. That was the best moment of the episode.
Benze going, Amenta. That was a funny moment too. Anyway. This is coming for best dressed panel of the year. This entire panel. And I'll go ahead and say I have a separate slide to talk about Pangina in a moment, so don't worry. But me personally, I want to talk about Cindy Bishop, because I don't know if any of you were familiar with her, but she was the host of Asia's Next Top Model. And for a while, I got really, really into Asia's Next Top Model. She is so funny, so beautiful. As when she popped up, I was like, oh my God, yay, I know someone other than Mama Pow. But I thought she was a lovely addition to this panel that is very well dressed. And since I haven't been here in a minute, loving Shaw. Like, their critiques every single week are so on point and so there, and like, they are a phenomenal judge. And Lutini as well. She's incredible. So.
But I'm gonna need to see Art back soon. It's been 3 episodes.
Right. It's been 3 episodes. I'm like, where's Piart? I want Piart. Give me Piart, please. Thank you. I want Piart.
Art. Chat.
Did somebody mention Art, Arya? But what the fuck?
What is this hat?
Woman? What is this? Period. And why am I obsessed with it?
She's a week late.
Right.
Incredible.
Yeah. She should have won this last episode.
Come on, Pan. Come on. Pan. But no,
I did not expect it to be on the whole time.
Yeah. No, I
thought
but
it was coming off.
Mm-hmm.
That's what made me love it even more. That's what made me love it even more.
This was like the very skinny moment for RuPaul. Like, just cover your entire face and pretend you're not there.
I don't even care if the fabric looks like grandma's couch. It's still beautiful.
Yeah, it's iconic. I was living.
Yep. She's still holding firmly to best dressed host for the year for me.
Yes.
Oh, wait. Brooklyn's coming in a couple weeks. to challenge
Oof.
that. I don't know if
We will
she'll.
see.
I think she'll match it. I don't know if she's gonna beat Pangina, but
Brooklyn
is coming.
usually starts off strong, and then like as the weeks go on, you see like the quality drop.
I will never forgive you all for shitting on the look that Brooklyn wore that Utica made. The like artsy dot look with the bang. I will never forgive y'all.
That was fine.
I will never forgive y'all because that was a good look.
I don't know if anybody mentioned the Fat Albert reference here because there is okay.
Oh,
The Dumb Donald
didn't even think about that.
reference.
I didn't mention it, but I did get it, and I'm glad that you brought it up.
I was like, not okay. Youngin, stay out of this conversation. It doesn't involve you.
I'm not the youngin for once. Yay!
Yeah. The baby on the panel needs to not say anything. But yes, there is a Fat Albert reference in this with the hat, Dumb Donald, and I was like, yes, Pangina, or
I was like, I'm like, I'm gonna go look now to see if Pangina actually like meant for that to be a reference, and if she did, I have so much.
I would be shocked.
I don't know.
It's
there is
podcast.
no information about the looks other than just posting the looks. So unfortunate, but yeah, usually we talk about the challenge here, but we already did it. And usually we talk about the runways, but we're going to do that on Look Over Here. So make sure to go check that out as well. Which means we could just talk about results.
Pretty good runway, though. I will say that.
Yeah.
Pretty good. Pretty good.
I'm glad you think so.
Mm-hmm.
Fine.
It was high highs and disastrous lows for me.
I have at least 4 really high scores. I only have 1 really low score.
I have 4 high scores and the rest are pretty low.
I have a plead and I'm upset about it.
Fair.
Yeah. But yes, so we get our results. We find out that Frankie is called safe, Zeepy is called safe, and Nane is called safe. And immediately I was confused.
Me too. I was like, wait, that's 3. That's my second, that's my third, and that's my 4th.
That's my first, and then 2 people that I think should have been safe.
I honestly was like, oh, we have a bottom 4. We have a bottom 4 this week. We have a bottom 4 this week. Yes, Pangina. Put them in their place.
But no, we get a top 2 of Godland and Spicy. And I guess if you're factoring in Runway and Snatch Game, I guess. But I was still confused.
I figured it out. I think there are 3 front runners this season. Those 3 people have been doing well pretty consistently. They didn't need any more high placements. So let's just make all 3 of them safe.
Yeah, that's what I thought too.
Yeah. And let's give Godland a top placement because she improved.
She is here.
She is here.
She is finally here. I was so happy that she was finally here.
Where's that clip?
Oh, hold on.
I did see Black Boy had like celebrated on Twitter that Godlin was in the top, and I'm like, yeah, but is this the week for it? Because for me, definitely not.
Do you think you are
I mean,
here?
it might be just because they might send her home next week.
Do you think you are here?
Do you think you are here?
Yeah.
Godland is here finally, and I'm happy about it. And our winner, no surprise, is Spicy, and I'm not mad at that whatsoever, even though her runway was an abomination.
Yeah.
Was it?
Yeah.
Her runway was the same mesh thing that she wore in the workroom.
We'll talk about it. It was my second least favorite, but I thought it was fine.
Okay.
An
But
What
yeah,
was
very
worse than
deserving.
that?
Very deserving winner, though.
Wait, you don't know what's worse than that?
Well, that to me was the worst one.
Oh,
All right.
okay.
Well, I guess we got a lot to talk about on Look Over Here.
We sure
I
do.
guess we do. Well, I won't.
But they're all pretty bad.
But we have a bottom 3. Siam again. Gigi and Benzie again. And Siam is saved for the 4th episode out of 5.
Really? Wow.
What is this baby's track record? Because I feel like
think
every
it's
week we're talking about Siam
Low,
being low.
safe, low.
I can tell you right now.
I think it's low, safe, low.
It is
No,
low,
because
safe, high, low.
Yeah, I was like, at
Revisionist
least I
history.
remember that in the
Low,
ball,
high,
we
low.
all thought that she should have won, and she was safe.
Oh, the ball? Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, she was high the past 2 weeks.
Oh, well, good for her. But we end up with the bottom 2 of Gigi and Benzie. Correct.
I kind of just wanted Gigi and Siam to lip sync just so that we could get it out of the way and just to finish the
Right.
storyline. Because I was not. It's not a storyline that I want to keep seeing. So
I
just
know.
send one of them home.
I thought that was what was going to happen. I was seriously like, storyline. That is what's going on. Storyline is about to happen, and they're going to put Gigi and Siam against each other, and that's what's going to happen. And I was prepared for it. I was like, all right, let's do this. Let's make it happen because I get it. But that is
Yeah,
not what happened.
If production is specifically trying to draw this out just for the drama of it all, that's kind of icky. I did kind of feel like Benzie was going to go home this week after my roommate told me that she was spoiled to go home last week. I was like, oh, well, then she's probably next.
Yeah. And this, oh boy, this lip sync. Gigi did great. Gigi did a good job. We knew she was going to be a good performer. She did a good job. Oh, Benzie.
I don't think I've ever seen somebody just completely lip syncing words that are not matching up with the music at all as strongly as I saw it with Benzie in this lip sync. I was like, is the music delayed? I just like, because nothing that her mouth was moving to even close to matched the words. And I was like, what is going on here?
I don't know. This choice to do the sad clown for the lip sync was a choice, especially for a song that's like, oh, my body is so sexy, let me be sexy, and then you're over here crying.
I wish she would have just come out of the big hat again. Honestly, I wish she would have just come out of the big hat.
Yeah. Lord.
Yeah, it was just not great at all.
Godlin said she wanted both to go home.
No, Gigi deserved
I would have
to
respected
stay.
that.
Gigi deserved
Well, I'm just
to stay
upset at
based on this
Gigi.
lip sync performance. Trust, I agree with you completely. But based on this lip sync performance, objectively speaking, I do think Benzie should have been the one eliminated and the only one eliminated, and that is exactly what happened.
Yeah, I was very confused by Benzie and her performance. I get trying to stay in character as a sad clown, but I'm like, baby, a sad clown. Baby, a sad clown when the song is about being sexy. Didn't match up. And she wasn't even saying the right words. So I was like, the worst. But
I think I'm giving her a little more grace with the characterization she had, just because what else was she supposed to do? Like, she obviously wasn't going to compete against Gigi in like that type of performance. So why not just like, oh, I'm in this look. I'm the only one that went for a sad clown with my look. Why not lean into it? So I'll give her props for that. It still was not enough to even close to redeem the not knowing of the words.
And I'm so sad because I love Mother. Like, she really is my favorite person on this season because she's just so I don't give a fuck. And I love that. I love that. I'm going to miss that energy in the workroom. So
I'm going to miss her how she looks in the confessionals, because it is just so,
oh my God,
it's like so calming. She feels like a woman that they plucked out for like a makeover challenge, because she just does not give me like, oh, this is a drag race queen when I see her in the confessionals.
Right.
Like, no, this is a woman that's Here. She is here.
Correct. Bye, Benze. We love you.
Mm.
Bye, girl. David, do we have a draft update?
We do. Not a lot has changed. In fifth place, Brandon has 29.5 points. Fourth place, me with 31 points. Third place, Lana with 44 points. Second place, Eduardo with 44.5 points. And Logan, you're on top with 50.5 points.
Yay, thank you, ZB, and only ZB.
Yeah, I had the bottom two this episode. So
Well, Julie. Lovely. And next week is a Rusical, and oh boy, I'm worried.
Lord have mercy. I am
I'm
terrified.
worried. I'm worried for these babies. But
After this Snatch Game, I am terrified. I'm like, oof.
I mean,
but hey, remember that the girl groups were pretty decent.
Yes.
So
And if it's like the Philippines musicals, those are like pre-recorded vocals, so we don't have to worry about whether they can sing or not.
Right.
So,
well, we have to worry about whether they can lip sync.
Yeah. My biggest
well-
question is: Will Spicy finally know her words, or will she do the same thing again, where she just?
And on that note, we're gonna get out of here. Thank you for joining us for this recap of Drag Race Thailand. Let us know all your thoughts down in the comments below. Make sure to check out our Look Over Here episode where we are talking about clowns, Lana, your favorite clowns. Ooh.
Throw it
That freaked
away.
me out, right? You know that freaked me out, right?
I
Okay.
know, but it's your favorite. Anyway, subscribe, like, and share on the way out. Thank you for joining. Make sure to check out the description below where you can find all of our audio podcast links, our other YouTube channels, our Patreon, our social media, and where you can get your merch, including but not limited to cup mug. And with all that being said, we are going to go ahead and get out of here. Words are hard. Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers.